Hi, my name is Mark Jula. I work at Rocket Software, and I'm working on the OMEGAMON for storage product. And today, what we're going to talk about is creating a situation in your environment that could monitor your free space utilization for volumes, for a group of volumes, for a single volume, however you want to set this up. And what you set up as a user DASD group, and then you're going to take a look at that free space percentage, and we'll use the Storage Toolkit, and we're going to write out a message to the SDSF or the system console with that free space percent. So, we have some customers out there that use this and they want to monitor these pool of DASDs. They want to send the message out to the system console, and then maybe they have some sort of an automation product to take a look in the system console for a specific message that gets created, which we're going to do that. We're going to create the message at the beginning. And, your automation product can take some sort of action, whatever it might be. It could be, submitting a job, calling somebody, doing whatever. Or, maybe a customer just wants to keep track of the free space in this pool for trending reports or something like that. It's a pretty easy way to stick that information out to your system console. And it's out there for reference, if you ever need it, because most people save those SDSF consoles and they keep them around for a while. So again, what we're going to do, we're going to set up a user group. Well, we already have a user DASD group set up, but what you'd have to do is set up a user DASD group, and then we're going to monitor that group of volumes for the free space. And if the threshold while monitoring goes below a certain percentage, we're going to send out some sort of a message to the system console with this information. So if we look over here, this is our OMEGAMON. This is the enterprise where we're at right now. So we've seen this before in previous videos. And then, we go down to the RS01 Plex, and we look at the user DASD group space. And as you can see, there's a green little thing there. And if we hover over top of that, I already have one set up. But we're going to set up another one. So it's going to send the message out to the SDSF console. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the user DASD group space. It's going to bring up these panels. So if you look down here, we have user DASD group name, ISOM tasks. So that's what our OMEGAMON started tasks name all begin with, ISOM. So we just set those things up to view them. And we have 27 SMS volumes. We have 25 non-SMS volumes for a total of 52 volumes. Now, there's not a whole lot of free space on these packs. They're all used and they're all, pretty full. So there's right now, free space percent is 1%. Okay, so we're going to set this thing up and we're going to take a quick look at how to do this. And it's a really neat thing to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the user DASD group space up here to create a new situation. So we click on situations, and as you see, this user DASD group is highlighted. So wherever you're at in this situation, whatever is highlighted is where that situation is going to get created underneath. So we want to actually highlight the storage subsystem because we want to be able to create this situation under the storage subsystem. So again, this little thing up here is called the create a new situation icon. So you click on that. We're just going to give this a name called, we'll say space. It's going to monitor space. So call it space. You call it anything you want. Attribute comparison. I'll make this just a little bit bigger. So this is already highlighted, your S3 volume group summary. So what we want to look at is free space percent. And then if we go down to the very bottom here, we are going to look at the user DASD group name. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll hold the control key. If you look right here, it says description. The free space percent is already selected. So we want to select the user DASD group name. So I'm going to hold the control key down and highlight that as well. And as you see the description. So these two attributes are what are going to be selected, the free space percent and the user DASD group name from this volume group summary. So we say OK here. And what this brings up now is our situation for user DASD group space. And you have two formula columns here, free space percent and the user DASD group name. And it also has a name up here. So what I'm going to do first off, what I have set up for ours that we're monitoring a pool, I have it set up to do hourly. But for this, we're going to let it go every minute so we can take a look at the jobs that run. What you probably want to do is make some sound. You could either have this any color you want, fatal, critical, minor. So what I usually do is I'll make it harmless or informational if you want to just write a message out to take a quick look at it. So what we can do now is we're going to click in the free space percent, and we're going to use our value. It comes up, we're going to say less than. If our free space is less than 5%, for our user DASD group name, and we're going to actually type this in, and it's right over here, ISOM tasks. So that's exactly what we're going to put in there, ISOM TASKS, ISOM tasks. Okay, so that's really all we need on here now. Just say we're going to look at it every minute. It's going to be a harmless. We're going to check for less than 5% free space on this ISOM tasks, which it's going to fire this situation because there's only 1%. Okay, so then we look at the action. We click on action up here. Okay, so the action selection. Well, first thing what we want to do is take action on each item, and then we're going to want to take action on each interval. It's just so it, because it's going to default to just doing it one time. So if you're wanting to look at this every hour or the way we're setting it up every minute, you have to tell it to just go ahead and keep doing it. So we're going to say storage action. Okay. Then we're going to go to the storage toolkit right here. So this is your storage toolkit. So what you would select here is we're going to say create a command related to this node for this user DASD group. So it's going to say this. You can create a batch job. You can submit a command. You can do a volume backup, a migrate, compress, a defrag. So these are a bunch of different things you can do. What we're going to do is create a command on RS01 for our storage for our user DASD group. We're going to say OK. OK. So now it says your command. First thing we'll look at is JCL. So this is going to submit a batch job that's going to do this, issue a command, and it's going to write a message out to the console. So this is your default JCL, and we'll just leave that as the way it is. You could put anything you want in here, extra JCL statements, or you could do, put a different data set prefix for temp file. So you can do a lot of different things. But this is your JCL, your job card. So this is your command. So you have different command types that you can do. First one is DSS, then you can do HSM, you can do RMM, you can do IDCAM. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a TSO command. Okay, so what I have a file up on the other side of my screen here, and it actually has the command so I could save a little bit of time. So this is the actual command that we're going to want to, so we're going to send in this single quote in OM***1. I put that in there as an identifier, for instance, that automation product can, search the console for this, or you could search the console for this, and you can look for that. You can make this anything you want. OM***01. You can make it XXX001 or whatever you want. And then the verbiage is going to be volumes in group, and then this between the two percent signs is a V1. This is a variable which we're going to create down here. Have V2% free space. Okay, so that's the command that we're going to enter. So here is where we define the variables, and we say %sign V1. That's your variable. And what that is going to be equal to is we're going to put this in quotes. We're going to say ISOM TASKS, because this is the name of our DASD group name over here, ISOM tasks. Put a space in there, ISOM tasks. So we're here, and at the end of this, I'm going to press the enter key, and you see it brings up another line. So then I'm going to type in here %sign V2. This is our second variable. So now we can go over here and we have a pull down menu. And what we're going to look for, we're looking at for free space. free space percent. So this is kind of towards the top. So we're going to say the free space percent. So variable number 1, volumes in group ISOM tasks have this. It's going to say it's going to actually pull the free space percent from OMEGAMON and put that number in here, and it's going to say percent free space. So this is what the command that we're issuing, and it's going to write it out to the SDSF or the system log. So say OK here. Takes us back to this screen. So then we have this one. This is our situation over here called space. So if we say apply, you see here it says requested location status is OK. So it actually checked that to make sure we were OK. So we got that. It's going to run every minute. I said apply. Now if we go up to here and we right click on this space, we say start the situation. You always have to start your situation. You saw that little flash, so that means that it actually did start. So we say OK here. It should go away. Now if we go back up to the very top here to the enterprise view, this is what we have set up, that it's actually monitoring our different situations. Here's the name. It's called space. And it's in here, so that means that it fired off. And it's a harmless task. Or it's a harmless message. So what we look here is, okay, so we press enter, and we see that my job just ended at 1442, and it is this job number 3492. Got a return code of 0. So I have a few jobs that are out here in the output queue. So there's 3492. We'll take a quick peek at it. Select it. And here's our message, the OM***1. Volumes in group ISOM tasks have 1% free space. Okay, so that's the actual command that got issued and put into the log. So if we go take a look at the log, and if I do a find on OM***1 previously, we see this is in the log. So it's OM volumes in the ISOM tasks, and that group have 1% free space. It has my user ID at the end. So that was the 1443 one right there. ISOM volumes, it still has 1%. So I mean, I don't expect that to change. But that's the easy way that you can write messages out to the log based on a situation you have running and firing off, looking at space in a user-defined pool. That's the end of this video, and I want to thank everybody for watching.